Hi everyone and welcome to Esther's Banquet. I am excited and today we'll be talking about something that calls for accountability, and that's the subject matter of toxicity in female leadership. So a quick backstory here. When we were younger, my elder sister and I would be talking as children. She was older than me and she would just say, for example, I don't think I will vote for a female president in Nigeria. And I'll be like, why? She'll say, because women are mean leaders. They act too mean. They are not nice. And I'm like, how do you mean? She'll say, for example, then she was old enough to have a bank account. She'll go to the bank before I did. Of course, she said she just goes into the bank and she's approaching a female staff banker and she's already sizing her up and just acting all hostile. So she learned to just approach the male banker and he just smiles and attends to her and she leaves and she's like, women don't handle position of authority well. They are unkind, they are mean. And I kind of didn't really pay attention to that until, of course, we're all grown, we're adults now, we're working, and the horror stories are now coming out. Women who young girls admire from afar then come close and say, okay, I would like you to mentor me. And they just practically treat them in abusive manners, abusive, toxic. A male boss in a female boss in the office is just there bullying her subordinates who are women, picking on them and just causing so much chaos. And I'm just wondering, like, what's going on? It's time to have this conversation. Not too long ago, in the month of March, we had International Women's Day, and we're celebrating and, of course, addressing the issues and the concerns surrounding women and everything. And a lot of times, we look at gender-based violence, how men don't even let women have access to authority or to positions of leadership and all of that. But for the ones we do have, how do we handle it? Look at it this way: every girl child in Nigeria who is now a young woman, you if you try to cast your mind back from how old you were when you started getting sexual harassment from men, from the age of 13, 14, they said whistling at you, catcalling, even possibly groping at you. So you learned how to quickly try to navigate that and how to defend yourself. And even in the workplace, the men that do these things to female staff. And nobody ever taught us how to defend ourselves from a female's abusive tendency, especially in the workplace. Not too long ago, was it just last year? It went viral on LinkedIn, and some women were being called out by female members of staff because of their toxic behavior in the workplace, affecting their mental health. They were not calling out men; they were calling out women that should shine the light. And you're finally in this position of authority, but this is what you choose to do with it. I have been having this conversation with colleagues of late and young women, and the stories are just plain horror. And I think it's time to actually address it. What is going on? Are we dealing with unreformed bullies from secondary school? Yes, those bullies that mess with girls in the hostel. I know we're talking about men today. Let's focus on women, right? Those bullies that hurt female students. They didn't die. They are alive. They are somewhere. They are in the workplaces where they graduated. They're now adults who don't maybe get called out because oftentimes victims keep quiet and let it slide. Then it gives them that boldness to continue to behave so ill mannered and mess with young people. It's time to do better. We have female leaders out there micromanaging staff to the point that young people, the subordinates, or start to feel like anxious, second guessing themselves because nothing they do is good enough. Somebody's watching you, and you have your job description. You were hired because of your job description, but this person will not let you breathe. Oh, let me see any mail you sent. Let me see everything. Close marking you. Come on. Now, I am not holding brief for females who are behaving poorly in their place of work and slacking off in their job description, and of course, it pisses off the boss, or the line manager who is not happy and trying to ask for accountability. This is not it. Of course, there's actually a way to ask for accountability. This is your job description. You are following up. What's going on with you? But when you're talking about then and even giving them assignment and telling them they're under probation, all of that is okay. But when we're talking about a senior member of staff calling a subordinate stupid idiot in the workplace, like they are your nanny. Even your nanny should not be treated that way. That is, it's tantamount to verbal abuse. It is tantamount to verbal abuse. So now we have verbally abusive bosses who are women, and their target is women. For some reason, they may actually treat their male subordinates better. Your target is picking on girls, younger girls, and dealing with them. People you should be providing mentorship for. I am forever grateful to when these conversations come up for women that come out and say, my boss is amazing. She did this for me. She mentored me. She supported me, made me feel seen, empowered me. This is the story we should be hearing. But when there are more stories of female bosses messing up, treating younger or just subordinates poorly, female subordinates, then it's time to talk about this and address it. And let's not isolate ourselves and think, oh, it's not important. The focus now is for men to give us more leadership position. What are you doing with the one you currently have? That is the question. Why should a staff member's mental health be declining because of you? I understand women go through a lot, right? Sometimes marriage is not easy. You're dealing with maybe possibly an abusive staff also. There's family pressure and all of that. You come to the workplace and you start to lash out. But then, how can we become accountable to work on these things to know that you shouldn't bleed on people who did not hurt you? If it is a marital crisis, how do you deal with it and leave it in the house? So when you come to the office, you treat people with the dignity of labor that they deserve, the workplace dignity, to address matters professionally without going overboard or abusing team members just because of your position of authority. How do we address this? Do you need to see a counselor to address it? Are you even aware you are doing this? In case you're guilty and you're not aware. What about asking for feedback? Am I a good boss to you? You might be surprised what you hear, but will you now take it out on the person? I was forced to at some time tell someone that you made me feel small. You made me feel this small. Some relationships get broken because of this. But I believe we can do better. And in the course of my work, I, of course, engage with a lot of young girls and boys. And I always ask myself, I don't want anyone to meet me and leave traumatized. This is not the look I want. This is not the seed I want to plant. There is this young girl I've been paying school fees for, and something happened that period. I was, I think, 2 years back. I was really cash strapped, and a lot was going on with me. And I always tell her, see, let me know ahead of time. At least give me 2 months or a month notice that I'll be needing school supplies, this amount, and just give me a range. And she did not. And that day, she just sent me a message that she's supposed to resume. No, she has already resumed, and they'll be sending them away from school. She has not paid school fees, and she needs this amount. And I'm like, come on, where am I supposed to get that from? I plan my life, I plan my budget, everything. Why are you doing this? Then something just click. Take it easy. Because of the relationship now, there is a power imbalance, right? I am the one providing. We are not related, by the way. It was from an outreach. She was in trouble, in the danger of child being forced into marriage, and I had to step in and do what I wanted to do for her. So that word just came, slow down. Whatever I say now, it might be taken out of context because she's not even in a position to argue with me. So I just knew that, okay. So I just told her, let's catch up later. Then I was calm. I called her back, like, let's talk. What's going on? This was the agreement. Let me know so I can plan my budget and save up towards certain things. And I said, is there something you're not telling me? Why is it so difficult for you to do this? She said, I think you're doing so much for me. I feel guilty approaching you. And I finally saw it from her perspective. That each time I pay, she's thinking, this person is not related to me. Why is she even doing this? So she's feeling guilty. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're human. I get. You're worried about me. You feel like this is a whole lot of expenses on me. I understand. But considering I choose to do this, I have never frowned when I'm doing it. It's a responsibility I counted the cost and I took on. I am happy to do it. But for you now thinking and feeling somehow for me, you are now using that to cause me some discomfort. I asked, is there any way I speak to you that make you feel like I am overloading you just because I'm paying? She said, no. I said, then don't feel guilty. I am happy to help. I know I am sowing this seed, and I know when you go up, you graduate and all of that, you're going to pay it forward and make sure that girls around you are seen and also supported. Don't feel guilty approaching me. And we had that conversation, and it never happened again. And I was happy that I was able to address that calmly, unlike if I had gone off on her. So let's pay attention of power imbalance when dealing with subordinates. This person can't talk back at me. This person is not an equal. So I have to now be careful. You have to be careful how you're speaking to the next person. Going off and calling someone stupid, idiot, that their brain is not yet developed. Why not just let the person go? There was a time I was providing counseling for someone, and something was going on. It looked like the person was becoming too dependent on the counseling than taking the actual steps I expected that at that point the person should be taking. And I realized I was beginning to get frustrated. And I told myself, before it gets to the point I start to snap at somebody who is going through mental health struggles, it's better I let it go. So I had to let him know that, okay, see, I think we've had a good run, but I think it's time to refer you to someone else to continue from where I've stopped. He wasn't happy initially, but he had to see reasons. And yes, we did that. But that it retained the relationship. Till date, he still refer people to me. Unlike if I had snapped and just gone overboard and start to break the ethics of the just because I was frustrated. So self-control is something we should all master as bosses, as colleagues. Enough of the mind games in the workplace, especially women. The popular minister in the Christian faith, Christy Bature, that has been on online going viral of late, she was addressing the issue of narcissism. She said, you think men are the only narcissists until you know what some men are going through in the hands of women who are men who are married to narcissists. When the wife is the abusive one, he can't say anything outside. He said, women, we know how to cook it in the womb. So that's why this issue now of female narcissists in the workplace who are just being toxic is so bad. Don't wait until you are called out to actually pause and reevaluate what is going on with me. Do you need certain healing to undertake? Do you need to see a therapist? Because I am of the opinion that hurt people hurt people. If you're happy, you will not go about spreading mayhem and causing hurt. There are people that will say, oh, I paid for this person's fees through school. I provided support. They are now there. They don't talk to me anymore. I'm calling them. They're not picking. You remember all the times you paid for fees, you provided opportunities, but all the times you were condescending is what they remember. All the times you broke their spirit with the harmful and abusive words. I will always say, the axe forgets, but the tree remembers. Where is this coming from? Heal so that you don't bleed on people who didn't cut you. If you have love, you give love, right? You can't give what you don't have. If you have kindness in you and empathy, that's what you give. That's what you dish out to people, especially people who are beneath you by authority. We have too many young, wounded people out there, ladies who have horror stories of what their bosses have done to them. Don't be counted in this statistic that, oh, in this data that she's among that. And you think you're a good person. Ask for feedback. Ask. I work with someone once that will always tell me, give me feedback, what's going on? And till then, I think she prepped me so much that I didn't now know that there are abusive bosses. There are people who just go overboard. And I'm like, oh my God. So hers is a good story for me. She made me feel like I have a voice. She encouraged me, opened me to opportunities, encouraged me to apply. Not those that if you are trying to apply for something, they are trying to stop you, stifle it. This person is already high up there. Why are you competing with someone that is already looking up to you? Come on. Is it an issue of insecurity? Is this low self-esteem? So you need to sit down and address it. Why am I picking on these young women? Do I need to even know what people think about me in the workplace? And don't pick on them for telling you how they feel. And oh, I just found out that micromanaging is another form of toxicity. We can do better. We are women. While we are trying to hold men accountable, we should also, as women, hold ourselves accountable. If you don't want to mentor someone because you are not in the right frame of mind at that point, at that time, tell the person I'm not ready. It's not a good time. I am going through something. When I'm ready, I will let you know. Being a mentor doesn't mean the person is a slave to you. Just because they want to learn the ropes and you think you can do something, tell them to slave, sending them on errands without pay, owing salaries, but you're going on vacation abroad. Female CEO, female leader. Come on. We'll talk about the men another day, but for today, this is about you as a woman. The women under you, how do they feel? Do they feel seen and supported and safe around you? Or you are the chief bully, the unreformed one from secondary school, from high school? Heal so that you don't hurt other people. Let the conversation change for once. Let people say, oh, I want to vote a female president in Nigeria because she's got this. And I do understand that mentality of, oh, women have to put their foot down to be taken seriously. But watch it. At what point do you become abusive because you're trying to gain respect? You will never gain respect by being abusive or trampling on people's rights. No, you will never get there. Toxicity reduces your whatever thing you think you are doing. It reduces it because people around you are just trying to bear. You're just plain unbearable. And sometimes people know, they know what they are doing. They play these games in the office. For posterity's sake, you do better. And remember, everyone have dignity to life, the right to life, the right to fair hearing, the right to live free of violence. Yelling, constantly yelling and criticizing someone is actually verbal and emotional abuse. So let's learn to cross the line. Set the boundaries and stay within your boundary. If you're tired of someone, ask that the person be maybe transferred somewhere else instead of abusing the person. I will always say something. We are accountable to God at the end of the day. God forbid that I'm intentionally breaking anyone's spirit. And I think you should think and say the same as well. If you can relate to any of this and you would like to share your experiences with me, I look forward to reading in the comment section. Thank you so much. See you another time.